September 28th work session, Symmes Township Trustees. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And roll call.
Mr. Beck?
Here.
Mr. Bryant?
Here.
Ms. Lees? Here.
I move approval of the agenda.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Beck?
Aye.
Ms. Lees? Aye. Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
No old business, so new business. First item, budget for bicentennial blast celebration, July 20th, 2024.
Okay. We had briefly talked about this at one of our meetings, so this is just I did revise it. So we've got the fireworks in there, we've got band number 1, which is the Naked Karate Girls for $5,500. We're able to book a second band, and I gotta have you guys approve it at the next meeting, but it's for $1,800. And then the third band, we're still trying to find. We've got a stage and tent in there for $3,000, miscellaneous for $10,000, and that would be like games and prizes and whatever else kind of entertainment that we're thinking. Advertising about 15 grand, portalets 500, the roll-off dumpster 1250. We asked the chamber to provide all the beverages. Obviously, people would buy beer and wine or alcohol or whatever from the chamber, and we wouldn't. Since we're not allowed to get involved in that, they would just handle that, and we would be out
They do
of
the
it.
liquor license and everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then we have, I don't know, a handful of food trucks, probably 10 or 12 food trucks so far to date. But that's what I got so far.
So were we thinking about a bicentennial committee to spear some of this up, or are we just doing it all in-house? How do we want to do that?
Jeff
Well,
Reichman had,
we put out an ad, didn't we? Basically asking
yeah, we've
for-
asked several times
for
if anybody
input
wants to
from everybody.
volunteer, and we got one volunteer, and then I've been sitting on that person's name, and then Jeff Reichman had called me and said that he got a bunch of his neighbors to agree to be on the committee. So I have that on the next agenda for next week, for you guys to appoint a committee, if that's what you wanna do.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think we should get some input.
Kim, this draft resolution that we're reviewing here just seems like only for one event. This is the big event.
Yeah, for right
Okay.
now,
Okay.
yep.
What I'm interested in is setting an overall budget and see how we're gonna parcel it out with all the other things. So this is great as far as it goes, but I'm trying to get my arms around how much the total cost is gonna be, and secondly, where it's gonna come from.
Well, we'll have to pay it out of the general fund.
Okay.
So I think this committee, what Jeff had told me is that his wife fundraises
Okay.
for a living.
Mhm.
So it's his hope that his wife can get corporate donations.
Oh, he volunteered.
Yes, he did. He volunteered her, and she agreed to help.
Okay.
So
Didn't we have Western Southern stop by? Didn't someone tell me that we had Western Southern stop by and was interested in doing some sponsorships and
Oh,
sometimes.
I don't
Western
know.
Southern Life?
Mhm.
Okay.
I don't know.
I think so.
So yeah.
I think they gave him your card, or maybe they just haven't reached out.
Oh, okay.
I think Lillian told me that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So this one's the only one I have so far to date. We'll have to come up with an overall. I guess I can do that by the end of the year. We can probably try to set something up maybe by December and know like what all of our events will be for the whole year. You know how we do it in January, we do it for
Yep.
Yeah.
the other, maybe we can have like a guesstimate.
Yeah, and I like the idea of having little events here and there.
Sure.
Like some things won't cost us a lot, like if we do a fishing tournament, or if we do like a run,
Right.
or, a movie. I mean, that's not that expensive to do, like at
Mhm.
the park, and we just move it around to all our
All
different
the parks.
areas.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, that's good. On the food trucks, are we getting any from the township? Any businesses
Do
from
we
the
have
township?
any left in our township?
Food trucks?
We
Yeah.
have not asked any of the businesses to
I've-
participate yet.
Pizza Towers.
We've just,
gone, and
all we
where
did
they
was
used to have
email
food trucks.
Cincinnati Food Truck Alliance,
Okay.
and then the request goes to Cincinnati Food Truck Alliance, and then they send that out to all their members, and
Mhm.
then members have been contacting us
Okay.
to
Okay.
tell us that, yes, we're committed to coming to your event. Because we have to get on their calendar before the first of the year, because then they put their calendar out for the whole entire year,
Sure.
and we want to make sure that we're on that calendar.
But we have an email distribution for the businesses, right?
No, we don't have an email distribution.
We don't.
No, not for
I thought we
business.
did
Can
at
we
one
send a
time.
letter?
Yeah, we can send a letter, but we
But
don't
the-
have their email addresses.
Okay,
So
but
that's
doesn't the fire department have a list of all our businesses and contact information for all of them?
I have no idea.
I think we could ask them. Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to check with them over the next month, just to see, gauge their interest. I know we did that at summer festivals, it might have been before you came on board. But we had Schoolhouse, I think we might have had Silver Spring House, who else? I don't know, 2 or 3 or 4 local restaurants participated and set up a booth. It wasn't a food truck. Yes. It was one booth next to another, next to another. Whether they want to participate, I don't know, but at least we appreciate being
We
invited.
need to contact them as
Yeah,
best we can.
and I think we should contact them, see if they're interested in any bicentennial event. You know, they want to participate in anything.
List that we're gonna do a whole bunch of, in a cover letter we send out, a list, a lot of the things that we want to do spaced out through the year, but concentrating on the big event and see if they want to participate in any of those things or contribute.
Now, did you guys pay for the health permit? Because you'd have to get a health permit if they're gonna have a booth. With the food trucks, we don't have to do anything. That's why we went with food trucks.
I understand.
Okay.
That
Well,
was, that's
If
really
they
hard
want
to
to
deal with.
participate, that would be on
Really
them.
hard to do.
Yeah, and then the
Right.
health department has to come out here, and then they have to inspect everything. With the food trucks, it's like they already take out a permit through the health department to run their operation, and we don't have to do anything else after that.
So is it one permit for the whole event, or is it one permit per vendor?
No, you have to take out one permit for each vendor. But with food trucks, you don't have to do any of that, because they already have their own permit through the health department.
They apply once a year.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, good to
Yeah.
know, good to know.
Mhm. Do you have any idea what the cost is?
It's like $25, I think, but it's
But
per,
still, you
it's
could
per booth.
ask them if they want to participate, and then that additional cost and timing would be on them, as long as they understand that that's what they have to do.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay. But I'd be really surprised, Kim, if the fire department didn't have a list of all the businesses in the township.
So, remember the guy in Bent Creek that had his truck? Does he not have a truck anymore? Remember the problems we had with the guy in Bent Creek running the court? Remember that?
That was a camper, wasn't it?
No, it was a food truck, I think. I don't know. So he's probably not, I
Most
don't
of
see
the
it
food
anymore.
trucks
so
are all
he must not.
inclusive, because they never know where they're gonna be.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, I think he's just charging different, yeah.
oh, okay.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about the committee next week.
Yeah, I have all the names listed,
Okay.
Good.
the people that have volunteered.
Okay. And then the committee can help not only work on this particular July 20th event, but they could also help with the calendar of events.
Right.
Did we ever, I know we reached out, did we talk to the cross-country at Loveland about helping us if we decide to do a run?
Yes, I did talk to Rich, and they said that they would be happy to help us organize all that and run it. The one in October.
You're thinking 5K or more?
I'm not thinking the 3-park walk, the run through the 3 parks. I was
No,
thinking
that
like
are
a
connect,
moon,
semi-connected, yeah.
yeah, like a moon run. I mean, like,
Okay.
say tomorrow is gonna be like the brightest moon of the year, I think. That would be kind of fun and interesting to do like a moon run or
Well-
moon walk. I mean, it's not totally dark, but you know, it's getting dark as they finish up.
Yeah,
Mhm.
And have like a little party afterwards. Celebrate the moon.
Mm.
well, don't forget, we're gonna have the total eclipse in April of 2024, so might have A moon walk in the daytime.
That would be something. We'll have to get the glasses with our bicentennial that we can pass out. You know those, the glasses you have to wear to watch the eclipse?
Yeah, add that to the budget.
I know. We think big, but then we come back in.
Right. Well, you gotta get your arms around something and find out what you can and can't do. So
Yeah.
that's what I was kind of looking for, is the overview. Where we're gonna set aside 200,000 or 300,000 or something like this for the next year's bicentennial events. And then where would it come from?
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. We'll have to see.
okay.
Yeah.
We'll keep working this, but we've got to boil it down. And the goal would be by the end of the year, obviously.
And also getting the committee input.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's important.
And I know you've got the medallions for 8 parks.
Yep, we're trying to figure out a symbol for the ninth one. We're
So-
having a hard time with that.
Canoe?
Which one is it?
They don't
Sure,
have a canoe
sure.
and the castle doesn't really look like a castle. So we tried to find a river, they don't have a river, so I don't know, we're just gonna have to keep trying to.
Can't you just,
Does-
they have, there's the flowers. Can't you do a flower? They're.
For a short
Or a
park,
bee.
Yeah.
You could have a bumblebee.
Yeah.
Okay.
They have the bee.
a bee or
Oh,
flowers.
community.
Come on, Phil. A bee.
No, that's what,
I know, but
That's what they wanna be known
that
for,
associates with the
selling
castle
the-
more than our park.
True.
down there.
But
You could have a
there
fish.
are
Who's doing
horticulture.
fish for the river.
Who's doing these plaques or whatever that we rub on? Is that the place up in Lebanon that does the laser cutting or what?
It's Grandview Aluminum, so they do all our cemetery
Okay.
plaques.
Yep, gotcha. Okay.
And then our park memorial benches, like, you know, the
Mm-hmm. Right,
stuff we do in the parks.
so, all right.
But they have a certain stock of emblems,
Right.
so we picked from those emblems that they already have.
That
Now, if we
represent-
want to do something different, we have to provide an AI format, which we're having a hard time figuring out how to convert it from a PDF or a JPEG or to the AI.
Okay.
We don't have that capability. We could probably ask our IT guy how to convert it.
So maybe a picnic table or a tree or a fish.
Well, we were thinking canoe,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you said they,
but they don't have a stock photo of a canoe, so we came up with one of our own, but like I said, we have to try to figure out how to convert it to an AI file,
okay.
which we don't know how to do that.
Okay. Put the question out on Facebook, see if we get an answer.
Well, I can just ask our IT guy. I'm sure they'll go, oh, it's this, in 5 seconds.
Okay. All right, but you just haven't got that far yet. All right.
Yeah, but we have all the other emblems, and then we have the 6x6 post to put them on. We just need to cut the post and put them in the ground, and we can do that before spring. And then we already have the packet made out so that they can do their rubbings for each park, and
So is that something they print on their own?
yeah, that we'll have it posted on our website, and then they can just print the packet and download it, and then take that packet to each one of the parks and do their rubbing, and then bring it back in here. And we were thinking we could give them like a coupon for like Dairy Queen, since they're in our township,
Yeah.
or whatever you guys think. We were trying to think of an ice cream place that was here, and that was the only one we could think of.
No, I've heard good feedback about that. Yeah. Okay. Anything else on bicentennial? Did you have anything else, Kim, on this?
No.
Kim? I said Kim, or Ken.
No, I thought you said Ken. I
Do
said
you have
no.
anything else, Kim? Okay. Entry
So-
signs.
But do you want me to wait then until we do the whole thing, or can I just do this one for right now?
I
Like
think
have it at our October meeting?
How much does this head up to?
It's a little over 100,000. It's just gonna be nailing down that number for band number 3. I can't get bands to email me back. And then I finally got one band to email me back yesterday, but the cost is too prohibitive. It's gonna be more than 50, so I just was like, nope.
Okay, so half of it is for the third headliner. Half of this roll-up, you said 100,000?
Oh, yeah.
50.
Yeah.
Can we see who the headliner is before we commit that much money? Do you know what I mean? I like to look at them on YouTube to see if I like them.
Well, that's where I'd like to get the committee input. I mean, they could meet pretty quickly because some of them book music events, music groups. So they would have ins, and then if another one is able to get sponsorship, that kind of brings the whole package together and brings this number down for us.
Okay.
But we'll emphasize to them that they need to meet quick.
Yeah, it's not easy booking these bands, trust me. I've been emailing about 5 or 6 of them, and I can't get anybody to respond, and then if they do respond, it's, they have something else going on, or it's way too expensive,
Mm-hmm.
so.
Okay.
I can't believe they make that much money.
Oh, these are the cheap ones.
I know, but I still can't believe they're making that much money.
Yeah, the big ones are usually 750,000 to over $1 million. That's how much they get for their performances. And then you have to pay for all of the stuff on top of paying them. You have to pay for their sound people, you have to pay for their lights, you have to pay for their food.
They don't pay for that? The headliners don't pay for that?
Nope. You have to pay for, because I emailed Blackberry Smoke, and then they came back with this list of demands. Like, you have to provide $1,500 worth of food for us, you have to provide water, you have to provide
I think they were actors or something.
a runner to go back and forth, like, you have to provide all these people and pay out all this additional money on top of their fee.
Can we just get a DJ?
So,
That's put
Naked Karate girls twice.
That's why where they go charges admission to pay for all that.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the venue sponsor, whatever.
All right. Okay. So we'll get some
So
input
we
from
got
the
some more
committee.
work to do.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, entry signs.
So entry signs, we briefly talked about the last meeting too. The entry signs, in your packet, we did take a picture of our entry signs currently, and this is what they look like.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So they're basically just that, sandblasted sign, that's probably about 2 feet by 2 feet, and it's just on a pretty basic wooden pole that's painted that green color, that's the same as our logo.
Right.
Right.
So what we were trying to change it to is, this, that has the welcome to Symmes, and then our new logo, but to say established, and then 1824, and then have our new Symmes color, and then but it would be on the black pole with the finial, and have the top, and then it has the brackets. But this would be not a bicentennial, it would be established in 1824. And this would replace all of the entry signs that we currently have. So we would do, so many this year and so many next year.
Tim, you know that we've had a lot of problems with our wood-based signs and so on in the past, that we have to take them down. One company has been fixing them for years and so on by basically cleaning them up and repainting them, and then we rehang them. And we've been spending a lot of money on doing that. Is this kind of sign replacement going to alleviate that situation?
Yes, this is why we wanted to go to a metal sign that you did not have to paint.
Okay, so would you say metal?
This would be the metal sign, so the
I thought
finial
I
and
read
the
here
post
was-
would be metal.
I thought it was red wood and plastic.
No,
Where did I read that? Okay, not your problem that I can't read.
this post is a metal post.
Oh, that one, yes,
With a
I'm talking about
base.
what we have now,
Yes. No, right now we have a wood post.
right?
This would be metal.
The
This
sign,
is
or
metal.
the post is metal, is
The
the
sign
sign?
would be metal too, and it has a 3M high-intensity print that goes over top of the metal 3x3. So it's just like our street signs.
Okay,
And then we would no longer have to take them down and paint them, which is what I've been trying to get away from.
And how many are you suggesting we do this year?
We have
Next year.
36 total, so we were gonna do 20 this year and 18 next year.
And what was the price on that?
It's 22, $257.40.
this year,
Yeah.
And then
With
how much
another-
next year?
Another
Another
18 or so,
20-something,
another
yeah,
maybe
next
20
year.
next year.
Yeah.
Where's the money coming from?
We've got it coming from all the different road funds, so the motor vehicle license fund, the gas tax, the road levy, and the permissive motor vehicle license tax money.
Are those funds building up if we didn't do that?
Are they what?
Are they increasing because we don't spend that much money out of them every year? There's not that much in them each, I know that, but,
Right, that's why we're taking a little bit out of each one, so that we're kind of spreading them across all the different funds.
okay, anything basically related to roads and so on, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
And would we install these ourselves?
yes, we would install them ourselves.
And what does it say on the flip side?
It would just say established in 1824.
It's a
It's
two-sided
a two-sided sign.
I understand.
As you come and
One
go.
side says welcome to, what does it say on the flip side?
Departing.
Like, thanks for visiting?
Oh, you know what? I don't know. I'll have to ask Bill that one.
I hate this thing.
I know our current signs say something, they say either leaving or, I think that's what they do say.
Leaving Symmes?
I think so.
Okay.
Well, we got two of them out there. No, wait, two roads. One was to pay for manpower, and the other was to pay. Okay. All right, well, we don't take action in the work session, so
Right.
this, maybe it requires some more thought before it comes up.
What else do you want me to research? Just the backs?
Well, to Phil's point, you know, if you're entering, you're entering, but if you're leaving, there should be something on there saying you're now leaving, or thanks for visiting, or something. I don't know if it fits.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't
But-
think you need to research anything else. I just kind of want to think about it for a little bit.
Yeah,
Well, I guess what I'm getting at is, do I put it on next, because I gotta do my agenda tomorrow, like I gotta finish it, so I didn't know if I should put it on for October, or do you just want me to wait?
I prefer you wait.
Okay, well, the longer I wait, the longer it's gonna take us to get this stuff.
Okay.
The only saving grace in my estimation is the fact that it can cut down on future maintenance of the signs that we have, which I've been squawking about for years that we should get rid of. But I'd kind of like to see us, I don't know how you do it, but I'd kind of like to see us work them off as one needs refurbishing, when you put that one up kind of thing, and it's not $20K out of your pocket one time. Maybe it is, maybe you have to buy them, but not install them, and that defeats the purpose too. So I know, I'm talking in circles, but the only, in my estimation, the only saving grace is future maintenance. Okay? And it's a pay me now or pay me later kind of scenario.
Well, I just didn't know if you wanted to have them for the bicentennial, or does it not matter?
Well, bicentennial doesn't start till after January, right? It starts in January, so. Okay.
I think it's nice to have for the bicentennial. I don't necessarily think it's necessary for the bicentennial. I mean, I think I like the new design, I like the new logo, but I don't think people really pay attention to the signs that much that they're gonna,
With our boundaries, the way they are,
yeah. So
you know,
that's
you
why.
go in and out of different communities all the time. I don't know that small signs people see that you're now entering Symmes Township. I know the one, I'll give you an example, the one on Cornell Road at Snyder. You know, it's sitting there all by itself, kind of coming from Sycamore Township or Montgomery or something like that. You see this little sign. These are 3x3, they're a little bigger, is that right?
Yeah, these are 3x3.
So they're bigger than what we have.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's another feature I'd like, so. I think I'd like to think about it. You guys decide whether you want it in October or November to vote on.
I mean, are they gonna install these in the dead of winter, or would they wait till spring anyways?
I think that Bill said that he would just install them as they could over the winter, because there's
Okay.
gonna be 20 to install, so it'll take them a while to
Okay.
get them all
So we could do
installed.
December, and then order
Well,
in
how long does it
December,
take
and
to,
then
how long does it take to get?
a month.
Yeah, about a month to get
Okay.
all the
Yeah,
supplies.
so we're not in any, we don't have to be in a hurry.
Maybe November. Can you
Oh, yeah, I'm
get them in
thinking-
December?
I forgot it, I was thinking it was October.
Okay.
Close.
Well, it almost is.
Sunday.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. All right, next item, new administration maintenance building.
So there's two options that I had emailed you guys to review. So there is the option where we have the service in the back and then the township building kind of teeing in the front. So it would be like that. And then the drives coming in and around the building, and then the parking being to the side and to the front. So that's option one. And I think last time we heard feedback that we didn't really necessarily want to see the maintenance building. So I had them do option two, which is just to put the township administration building in front of the maintenance building, and it's just kind of one big building, and then all the parking goes in the front, and then still the circulation is the same, but then we also move the building forward a little bit so that we can get semis behind the building in case we need to drop anything off.
So all these pictures are the maintenance building.
Those are just for colors, so because we also need to pick a color.
And this is just for the maintenance building, this isn't for the administration.
No, it'd be for the administration and the maintenance.
Oh, the colors.
Yeah, they're just colors, so we would have to pick trim, the siding, the roof, and then we were gonna have them put like stone, like faux stone around the bottom to kind of break it up.
Do you remember that one picture on the cover? That
Yeah.
we said, this is the one I like? Do you remember that?
The one with the lake in front of it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
No. That Morton uses as their advertising.
yeah, that one.
Yeah, it's not in here.
No.
That was the one I passed out a couple months ago.
Yeah, I almost brought that Morton folder with me. I had it, but I didn't.
So are we down to the point where we have to pick colors? I thought we were still working on like the building concept.
yeah, that's why I need you to tell me if you like option
Oh,
one
any
or
of
if
these
you like,
buildings too.
yeah, like option
Oh, okay.
two or option one.
Where's the, if we're just picking colors or are we picking?
But at the same time, they also want us we're eventually gonna have to pick colors too, because they need to, they keep sending me emails to solidify what we want.
Okay.
I think we need to have a separate meeting on this, because this is gonna take a
I
while.
think we need a committee for this.
A committee of whom? Because I've already showed all the
Architects.
township employees and.
Architects, engineers, construction types. Because
Volunteers.
we're looking at, I'm taking a big step back, but we've looked at options at Safety Service Center. We've looked at options on this parcel where we are. We've looked at options at Mead property. We know each of those have issues associated with them for one reason or another. And I'm not bowled over with these concepts for an administration building. I mean, I think they look like a maintenance building. But I think the administration building, if we end up pulling the trigger on redoing it, needs to be something kind of special.
Okay, well, just keep in mind, if we do the administration building by itself, we have to put that issue on the ballot.
So if you attach it to the safety service safety service building, because we have that piece of property that we purchased, that has to go on the ballot? But it's part of the safety service.
It doesn't matter, if you attach it to a building, it's a government building, but if you have it separate, it is a township hall, and you have to put it on the ballot.
So
That's why I was trying to attach it to another building.
So this building itself, right here, which is the township building, was on the ballot as a separate issue?
I don't know what you guys did when you built it or who built it, but
Well,
if we do
It's
it,
me.
if we do it, we have to put it on the ballot because it would be over $50,000.
So is that why they're putting like the railroad, the city's putting the railroad issue, selling the railroad, you would know that? Why they're putting that on the ballot? Why is that on the ballot?
I think they're just trying to raise money.
Well, obviously they're trying to raise
That's what it
money,
boils down to.
but in the
Well,
long run, or the short run.
I could
It's
sit
probably
here, I
written
could sit
somewhere in
here
their
and debate
charter.
that one with
It's
you.
probably
but I'm
written
not-
somewhere in their charter that they have to do that. Right.
Okay.
But in the revised code, it's, I forget what section it is, 511 or 513, it actually states that if you spend over $50,000 to update your township hall, you have to put it on the ballot as a
So what-
ballot issue.
So what's the big
to get
deal with
approval.
that?
Because you gotta pay for it to put it on the ballot.
Any issue?
So why
Can
pay
we put a
for,
levy or something on the ballot?
Yeah, you
What's
gotta
it
pay
co-
for it.
What does it cost?
I don't know, it depends. If they, what they do is the Board of Elections takes all of the ballot issues and then they divvy it up and then it's based on the
Okay,
ballot issues in your township and then you get
Okay.
charged for it.
okay.
So why pay for it if you don't have to?
So township hall is considered township offices. It's just
Yeah.
any hall that we would build,
Well,
we have to put it on, no matter what.
If it's
it
over
is.
50, yep.
Over
what if we bought one, an existing building? Does that have to be on the ballot?
I don't know.
I'm thinking, because once upon a time, we were considering buying that, what is it, Kinder Care? It's over near the police and fire station as offices for the township. Not that they're out of business or anything, but if it were to come available, something like that, modified for our needs.
I was thinking.
I was wondering, I mean, if we were to buy an existing building, would we still have to put it on the ballot?
I can ask Jeff to give an opinion about it.
Well, we're not doing that. It's just I'm trying to understand why we have to put something on the ballot. Okay.
It's a requirement
Just
in the
be-
revised
just because
code.
we're building it, I mean, if we bought it,
It's any renovation, any money that you spend over $50,000, whether you're renovating it, building
Okay.
it, whatever it is, if it's over 50, you have to put it on the ballot.
so if we had this, I'm getting too far afield here, but if we had to spend $50,000 to refurbish our Remington Firehouse, our fire station,
It's different. It's a fire station. It's
Okay.
only because this is a town hall.
okay.
So if we put more than 50,000 in this building, we have to put it on? Oh, so we have to put it on no matter what?
If-
Not, but if we combine it with another discipline in our town, it's no longer a township hall, it's a government building. So then you don't have
It's
to do
a
it.
matter of definition.
Okay.
Okay.
That's
okay.
why I was trying to combine the two.
Let's think about that a little bit.
So if we would build a building on Mead, just say we'd have to put it on the ballot.
If it's for a township hall.
Oh, okay.
What
If
if
it
it's
is for a
multi,
park, then you do not have to do that.
but what if it's multifunction? You
Then
said if we
can't-
combined
But then we
it,
can't use our TIF money to build anything that's related to a park. And we wanted to spend some of our TIF money on this.
okay. So right now, I'd heard some numbers. If we were to just do the new maintenance building or whatever, or store all our equipment indoors rather than outdoors and what have you, that was gonna cost X number of dollars, 1.6 million or something like that.
Something like that.
Okay, and now if we add an administration building, meeting hall and so on to it, the price goes from 1.6 to what?
3 million.
3 million,
Yeah.
okay. So what we're looking at here is the $3 million package. Okay. I'm just trying to get my arms around this. Because as you mentioned already, we looked at other sites, namely in addition to the Safety Service Center and even Mead.
And the reason why we're doing this, because this building is out of date, it's not up to all the codes that it needs to be, and there's no way that we can get it to the point where it is up to those codes.
No, the
Like
biggest
in
thing, it
the-
doesn't meet ADA standards.
Right. So, I mean, and we've been
And we don't have
trying
enough
to
space.
get around that, right.
I mean, we don't have a conference room, we don't have a lot of things. So,
We
At
don't
this
have
level.
enough offices
Yeah.
back there.
At this level, you can get in and out of here being,
But if you're in a wheelchair, no, we have to come down the steps to greet you at the door. You can, if you're wheelchair
Yes.
bound, you cannot get upstairs to our
I know
offices.
you can't get up there, but you can get down here.
Right,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I tried that.
right.
I didn't get up the steps for a while.
I know, I know, because a lot of times we had to meet you down here, we had to bring all your stuff down here.
Yes,
All right. So this has been an issue for years and years.
okay. Do we have any sense of timing on this? Can we
Well,
just?
we have to spend our ARP money by the end of next year.
Okay,
So we,
spend,
Yeah, spend.
not, what's it called?
It has to be appropriated.
Yes, we have to appropriate
You
by
have
the
to
end of next
appropriate
year.
it.
We don't necessarily have to spend it. Just appropriate.
Right, but you eventually have to spend it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
I think you only have one more year after that to totally spend it.
right. Okay.
all right, I'd like to look at that picture on the front page. I kind of like that one, if we're moving towards something like this. I thought, I like that.
So what do you want me to tell Morton?
We need more time.
That the service department part is okay to look like a barn, but not the office part?
So how do you want them to change it in the front so that it doesn't look like a barn, just not do metal? And I'm trying to give them feedback.
Well, I think metal's like the new in. I mean, when you see a house being built, it looks that metal. Yeah.
I was trying to keep the cost down, that's what my objective was.
Yeah, understand.
I get it.
So the ARP and the TIF will add up to 3 million?
No, we would have to borrow, we can do about $1 million and then we'd have to borrow the rest.
Okay.
But we're inside the borrowing limits, so we don't have any problem doing that.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
And we're doing this, like the utility barn part, based off our finance committee, the discussions we've had with our finance committee.
And the need for bay wash and all that
Yeah,
kind of stuff.
and we
Right.
don't have to have our equipment outside during the winter,
Right.
that they'll be able to have a garage for it.
Yeah, and then the biggest thing too is like right now we can't legally wash our trucks outside. They're supposed to be inside a building with a filter that's supposed to catch the salt and we don't have that.
Yeah.
Or,
Right.
For environmental
or we
reasons.
take it somewhere and have them washed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I can't speak to that.
Okay.
Okay. So if we're gonna do it here, I want that picture back. Can we put this, when do you wanna put this on, Phil? Next agenda,
As in,
or will we, November?
right.
November? Can we put this on November?
Regular meeting?
Is that okay? Is that okay?
I think we'll be ready by then.
Yeah.
What's going to help us get ready by then? Committee?
I don't think we can spin a committee up that fast. I'd like to get some different input. I mean, maybe we could reach out to some folks like Ralph Wolf or, a few of our folks that have been on committees in the past. But I need to see, I guess I need to look at Morton's options on their website. Let's pencil that in and see if we can achieve it. I said, let's pencil it in and see if we can achieve it
I'll look
For
on
when?
this too.
for November.
Do you know what
Okay.
picture I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Didn't you like that one too?
Yeah, I do. I like it a lot, but I just don't know how to combine that with
A barn?
a barn, a maintenance building. It made it very difficult to put the two together.
Okay. Can't we just put the face and then the barn?
I mean, I can ask them to see if there's any way, we were just trying to share spaces too, like do one kitchen and, one sets of bathrooms and, because right now we duplicated all our spaces. Like we've got spaces in this building and spaces over there. We don't need all those, we just need to combine them and make one.
And expand for growth.
Right.
Yeah, and office space
Right.
especially, storage space. Yeah, makes sense.
Okay. All right.
Okay, thank you. Next item, sidewalks on Union Cemetery. So we're definitely, the section of sidewalk that is on the docket takes us to where, Kim? It's
So
just
we originally had
one-
planned to do the remaining sidewalks on Union Cemetery from Shenandoah down to Speedway, inside the township limits. So we can't spend money outside the township limits
From Shenandoah to where?
to Montgomery Road.
Okay, so
Where
we already
Speedway
have
is.
roads from basically Appomattox or Antietam, I can't remember which is which,
Yeah.
down to Shenandoah.
Yes, there
Okay.
are sidewalks
All
that
right.
connects the two,
Okay.
and then it ends, like Shenandoah comes, like where the very corner lot is for that subdivision, that's where the sidewalks ends.
Okay.
So then there's three
Three big houses.
big houses, and they're
Yep.
building a fourth one.
Okay.
So I think the sidewalks actually go, I can't remember if they go in front of the
There aren't
first.
any in front of those buildings.
So then it would be the infill.
So we screwed up somehow by not requiring the,
They are required.
Yeah, now they're required, but they weren't before.
okay, that's what I'm saying. So
Yes.
this fourth one will have to have a sidewalk,
Yes,
okay,
yes.
but not the first three. So we
Right,
were
so we
talking about
just-
connecting that sidewalk to nowhere, to the Loveland line,
Right,
back three houses to Shenandoah.
yeah.
Okay.
So we're just talking about sidewalking 3 of those houses?
It would be infill for right now, just two big houses that are owned by Farida Arapova,
Yeah.
and they have the big fence down there with the lions on top.
Yeah.
So, and then Loveland's Corp line comes in where Carrington
Yep.
Crossing condominiums are. And then you have 2 lots, and then I think that the care center, and then we have 5 lots inside
Sim.
the township, which are right out here. So it'd be those
On the
4
bend.
houses plus our lot right here.
Right.
And then you go back into Loveland, where the lodge is.
Right.
And then you come back out of Loveland, right where Speedway is.
Yep.
So those would be the areas where we put the sidewalks. I think we decided 2 years ago, because we could not get Loveland to participate, that we decided we weren't gonna just move forward with it, just because we didn't want it to stop, start, stop, start, stop. You know, Loveland has told me that they already have commitments to do
Yeah.
stuff downtown, and they don't, their residents aren't in this area like ours are,
Right. So,
which I understand.
so reading this packet, okay, we've already done the engineering.
Yes, the engineering's done, and the county actually approved that section down here next to Shenandoah.
Okay. So now we're ready for bid package.
We could, yeah, so it could be like an infill over the winter, or we could just wait till next year, which is fine, and we can tack it on to whatever other Fields Erdel project we have, the ones that we're gonna do up
Okay.
on Fields Erdel.
Is the engineering that we've already paid for gonna go to waste if we don't do it now?
No, it's not gonna go to waste.
Anyway, what I'm thinking is that we might have higher priorities on sidewalks than this one. The sidewalk to nowhere.
Yeah, like, I don't like the fact that there's sidewalk, no sidewalk, sidewalk, no sidewalk, sidewalk, no sidewalk. I think that's,
I don't know how much money this would free up, but it might accelerate the Hopewell Bridge scenario. That's what I'm just thinking.
Well, there's going to be a new sidewalk regardless in front of that new house that's being built.
Okay,
And then there's gonna be a space
okay.
for 2 lots, and then it's gonna pick back up. All I wanted to do was just fill in that gap for right now.
of the 3 houses.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
actually, it's 2.5.
Okay, since,
like 2.5.
since we haven't gone out for bids, we kind of, at least choice one would have an idea of what,
Yeah, it's,
we have to estimate in our own mind what it's going to cost and compare the bids to it if they're outside of a 15% range or something.
it's gonna cost like 41,000, so it's under the bid limit. The bid limit goes up to 75,000 in October.
Okay.
So it's completely within where we can just get bids. We don't have to bid it out.
All right, so 41,000 out of sidewalk budget.
And it's not costing us
That-
anything,
that's-
right?
What's that?
We don't have any grants or anything to help?
No, it's just we would take this out of our TIF money.
Yeah.
But I think when I was talking to Phil about it, he wanted to make sure that we were doing the rest of the sidewalks, and so that's why I'm bringing it to you guys to see if you
Okay,
guys
all right.
want to do that, or,
$41,000 or thereabouts isn't gonna change any priorities.
So what we're saying is that small section of sidewalk at the three houses is 41,000. And do we know, did Choice One ever give us an estimate to do the other piecemeal parts to
yeah,
Montgomery?
2 years ago, it was gonna cost $176 for all of it. Our portions.
So the theory is if we do all of it, which I know is not ideal, but then it puts the pressure on Loveland to do the infill.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
We
I don't
have
think you
less-
put pressure on Loveland.
We have
to do
less lobbying
Hmm.
without it.
it. Hmm?
We have less lobbying
I agree.
with Loveland without it. There will be more community conversation with Loveland if you got those missing teeth. I'm just
Well,
throwing that out there.
our concept was to, if we're doing this, we're gonna get us to the walkway through, not Carrington, but the, what is it, the care unit there?
We did, we asked the lodge to participate and they declined.
Okay. Well, they're in Loveland anyway now, because they were annexed.
Do we see that many people walking on the grass now?
I do not see anybody walking on the north side. I see everybody walking on the south side.
Do we have sidewalks now?
No, in front of our building. Because what they're doing is they're coming from behind here, because there's houses that are behind this development, and they come up through the green space, and then they walk in front of my office, and they walk down this side of the road,
Okay,
down to Montgomery Road.
okay.
But since we already had sidewalks on the north side, that's why we just stayed with the north side.
So then we probably have to put a flashing light to get them across.
Yes.
So do we have, I mean, we put the schedule of sidewalks in the newsletter. Do we know, I assume we do, estimates for each of these?
We don't yet have, for Hopewell, no. They're gonna work up an estimate for me to see what it would cost us to finish the engineering on that and what construction would cost us. I think we just have one on Snyder. We don't yet have anything on Seven Gables, or did I put is there a cost with Seven Gables? I can't remember
No.
if we finished that one or not. It's probably not finished
Costs
yet.
on here.
So, and we have no idea, I mean, we do have an idea of what Fields Earth will cost. I just don't know about the Warren County project.
Do we
He
have to
told me about
participate
250.
in sidewalks on Fields Erdel?
Yeah, we got,
Yeah, we already committed to that.
we had grants to the,
Well, how much is the grants for?
Well, we're two different, she's talking about the Warren County portion. So the Warren County project from Paul Meadows to up Snyder to Fields Earl and Fields Earl down to Escort, they told me roughly 250,000 for that piece,
wow.
but I don't know yet because it hasn't gone out to bid. It won't go out to bid until the spring of next year.
You say it's on the Warren County side?
It'll be on our side, but it's a Warren County project.
Yes.
So what if it comes back and the bid is too high for us? What happens then? If we say we're not willing to spend, maybe it comes, let's just say it comes back at 400,000, let's just say. And I would be thinking, $400,000 is a lot of money for sidewalks there. Do you know what I mean? So
Well,
is there a, maybe we do a portion of it at a time, or is that possible to do?
that
I
is,
don't know, I'd have to ask.
that's a very, very dangerous situation. I'm really interested in what they're gonna do with the roads.
They're gonna have to build 5 retaining walls on our side. They would have to do it regardless of sidewalk.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But
I
they're
mean,
gonna
it's
be
because
set-
of the road.
They're gonna be set back to allow enough right away for the sidewalks though.
Right,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. But the drop-offs now and the drainage, I'm thinking past the 2 apartment complexes is horrendous.
Well, the hope is that they fix all that through there.
Yes,
That's what
yes.
this whole widening is supposed to do, is to fix.
But then that would increase foot traffic
Yeah,
when it's fixed and flat and so on, so,
right.
yeah.
So this is just trying to make it safe for that foot traffic.
yeah.
So is it possible to just like jot down what our cost would be and what the matching grant would be for each of these and where our funding is coming from?
Mhm.
Separate sheet.
I mean, generally, I'd like to finish a sidewalk project that we started before we start a new one elsewhere, but I know that's,
Well, we
It's
can move,
not-
when
that doesn't always work that way.
it's one of those where you buy in and increase the points to make something happen.
Right.
And Warren County headed this one up. So, yeah, I see the value in this. But timing is questionable.
At one time, when we were prioritizing sidewalk projects, we were saying, well, looking at the number of houses that it would impact and the connections. I mean, I know
Connectivity.
this connects
A lot of
the whole loop.
subdivisions.
Right,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Plus, we always look at schools.
parks,
Parks,
libraries.
libraries.
Yep.
And
Yep. Connecting
most
neighborhoods.
bang for the buck if you can connect more subdivisions together. Yeah. Okay. Well, we're still talking about Union Cemetery Road, right?
Right.
Okay. I don't think $41,000, if you can do it for that, is going to change the prioritization any. But we're only talking here the 3 lots right now, right?
Right, the 2.5.
Not that
But I didn't know if you guys wanted
40
to
would
move
be
forward.
it'd be another 60 plus to do the other section, this side of Loveland.
It would be, it's 2 years ago, the estimate was 176,000 for
Okay.
all of it.
Okay.
Within our township.
Okay,
Loveland's was like 200 and something.
okay. So now we're talking 120 to do this area out here.
No, it would be probably more than
176.
176 now. The estimate was 2 years ago, and concrete's gone up exponentially. So it's probably gonna be over 200,000 to do the remaining sections.
But that's, okay.
Or we could just do 41,000 for now, or whatever we think we can get the bid at. And then work on those other sections later, or,
Look. Okay. All right. So we're just gonna move forward with the 3 lots.
okay.
Yeah, I agree.
But you can get us kind of a cheat sheet
Mhm.
on all of our proposed projects. And I'd also include the remainder of Union Cemetery, just as, you know. we're
Call it
just throwing
phase
that
3
into
if
the
you want.
mix,
Okay.
Okay, Union Cemetery Phase 3.
Right,
And we can keep our eyes on what the costs are for that, engineering wise. Is the engineering done for that?
Yeah,
Yes.
the only thing that we have to do is we have to get the county's comments. The county takes for a long time to give us comments back, and they usually add a whole bunch of stuff to it drainage-wise. So we're not really sure what all is going to be required with this section over here.
Yeah, but we're not gonna run into the kind of situation we did with Seven Gables, so, right? Where we bid it as that is part of another package and they made us split.
No, that's totally different. What
Okay.
I'm talking about is when you put sidewalks on a county roadway, most of the time the county will add significant drainage improvements to the sidewalks because the road is woefully under-designed for drainage. And then they usually put that cost on us, and then that drives our cost up.
Got it. But that's already been taken care of in these 3 lots that we're talking about?
Yes, the county gave us their blessing and said it was okay to proceed and didn't add,
Okay,
it didn't add to it. But I don't know what they'll do with these sidewalks here.
yeah, and that was a different, that was MSD that we just did the sewer things for these lots, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's totally different. We couldn't have gone piggyback in any way, shape, or form then, even though we had the engineering done, right?
Piggyback for what?
Piggyback with MSD putting the sewer line in and regrading and all that kind of stuff at that point in time.
Oh, no. MSD only took care of their portion of what they were doing. That
Okay.
was it.
All right.
That's why they only paved exactly where they
Yeah.
tore the road up, and that was
Kind of
it.
interesting because the county really owns MSD, that they wouldn't think about fixing any other drainage issues and so on with grading while they were at it.
Well, it's 2 separate departments. You got the county engineer versus MSD.
Okay. All right.
Okay, next, park rule changes and fee increases.
So I propose to increase the fees for the shelters because we really need money in the park fund. So I was proposing to change some of the rules and just make minor tweaks. And then increase the fees by 25, and then just basically, you know, like we're gonna be taking credit card, and then just add some other different things, like things you have to clean up, things you can't put in the shelter.
Okay.
That if you don't follow the rules, you forfeit your deposit. And then the biggest thing we're gonna have to figure out is the athletic fees.
Okay.
So I put together, and Kelly researched a lot of the stuff for me, like how everybody else does their fees. So on this big sheet, in the different colors, it has like how they do their,
Is this the one that's color coded?
yeah. So
Okay.
this like shows all the fees that we've taken in, but basically what it is since we instituted fees, we've seen a decrease in the rosters. So I don't know if that means that they're going elsewhere to practice, but then they still play all their games here because we're taking in less fees. As you can see, it keeps going down, like all the, you know, the fees that we're taking in. Although this year it kind of went up because we started taking it both. We started doing it in the spring and the fall. But basically, we're only bringing in around we've only gotten $12,660 this year. We're supposed to get like 13-something thousand. But you can see where we're shelling out about $96,000 to maintain all of those fields. So we either need to figure out a way to generate more fees, or we don't do the maintenance, but then when we don't do the maintenance, that's when we hear the complaints from the recreation leagues that we're not doing the maintenance. So I don't know how to tackle that.
So because we have the fees, clubs are choosing not to come here and practice?
Oh, I think they practice, they just scale their rosters back and they only practice so many games, or so many times on our fields, but then they're using our fields for all the games.
Okay.
So one doesn't correspond with the other, if you know what I mean.
Okay, but that means less usage, less maintenance.
No.
No, it's still not less maintenance. We're still paying the same amount to fertilize, we're still paying the same amount to,
So why don't you say, okay, you have roster fees and then you have game fees?
well, that's what we were looking up. So when we went to look at all the different parks that have, that's what a lot of people are doing now. They're saying if you want to rent a field, it's this much for an hour. If you want to rent it for a game, it's this much an hour. or if you want to rent it for a weekend, it's this much. So they're breaking fees down, they're like getting more complex about the way they're attacking the fee charges. Now, I know Miami Township bases it on how many kids that are residents versus non-residents. So the more residents you have, the less fees you pay, but if you're a non-resident, the fee goes up. So theirs is a sliding, I think it's like 75%.
Get the duck.
Yeah, so if you have, they base it on the number of players, and they say that if you're 100 to 80%, here's the fee. If you're 79 to 50%, here's the fee. And if you're 49% or less, here's the fee.
Per person
No, it's like
Per
per
team.
field.
or per, okay.
Yeah. And they do single day permit fees. Let's see, special, and they have special event permit fees.
Okay.
So if people were to do tournaments, they have a different fee for
Okay.
that.
So what's Loveland doing?
Loveland does, here's how much our maintenance is for the year, and then whatever hole they have, they divide that between soccer, football, and baseball. And then those three disciplines have to pay the difference.
Is that based on roster?
No, it's just based on, if maintenance costs $50,000, but we only have $25,000 budgeted, you guys are paying this other $25,000 that we have a hole, and then they divide it.
Yeah.
But it's different every year.
Yeah, and Loveland, like, they house most of the youth soccer, and there's multiple teams, so it's probably very inexpensive for them, because I noticed that we don't have very much Loveland soccer here anymore.
Yeah, because they only use Stonebridge, and that's it.
So this is damn if you do and damn if you don't. You raise the fees and the roster volume falls off, so you don't bring in any more money. Doesn't help when you have fixed costs.
Unless you say you are practicing, let's just take Alex's team. You practice 5 nights a week. I don't care how many people you have on your team. This is what it costs for 5 nights a week.
Right, it's just a fixed fee.
Okay.
And then he,
And you go
and
somewhere else.
I would assume the majority, no, he won't go anywhere else. I would assume the majority of the real cost is the baseball fields.
Yes. It's the grass mowing, the baseball fields, because you constantly have to spray them, you have to fertilize them, and then we have that irrigation system.
So why aren't we charging baseball more than we charge soccer?
We could.
Yeah, I would say that would be the fair thing
Are
to do.
people using our lights that much and paying for them?
This last year, they paid almost $1,000 to use our lights for the year.
Okay. I don't know if that's a lot or not.
It was
Depends
more
on
than
how much
last
it-
year.
Okay, depends on how much it's used. And
I think we should, if we're paying more attention in maintenance fees to a baseball field versus a soccer field, I think the baseball team there should be a more chart. Why should soccer pay for baseball or lacrosse? Because all you do really is we cut the fields, and
Okay.
maybe
so
mark
that
them.
says you really have to know and break down where your expenses are and
Right,
have the appropriate parties reimburse you for it up to a point.
right.
Now, I know that Alex has asked to lease our ground, and I didn't know if you guys would be interested in that. He wants to lease fields 1 and 2, and then he would be responsible for all the maintenance. Like, he would just pay us a flat fee,
And how much
and then he
money-
would mow it, he would fertilize it, he would completely take care of it.
But is that open us for subleasing, or is he gonna have it all the time?
No, he would have it all the time. That's what
Yeah,
he's
then
looking,
he can make money off of subleasing.
he could.
But I think he has enough teams that he needs the fields.
Mhm.
Okay. But once you set that precedent, then if he went away with all his teams and so on, then what?
Well, then the lease is over,
Yeah.
The lease goes with him.
for sure.
How much a year? You're talking about at least on an annual basis, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that would look like, how much we would get out of it. I mean, I don't know.
Okay. So what are you looking for? You have a recommendation, right?
Well, I didn't.
$25 per person or something for what?
No, it's $25 to increase the
That's the
shelter
shelter.
rentals.
Oh, okay.
But we definitely need to increase the athletic field fees, but I didn't know I thought maybe we should go to a per field fee versus the rosters. Because I just have a feeling that they're not submitting all of what they are telling us they're putting there. I think it just should be a flat fee to, you know, if you want to use the field for a night, or you want to use it for a week, or whatever it is, it's this much money.
That sounds a lot easier to manage.
Yeah, it would be. And then like Blue Ash, they do theirs online, so you can actually go online and reserve it for a night if it's open, and then you just pay the fee and reserve it, and it's yours for the night.
So like, could you do that for the whole season? Like,
Yeah, we could do it like a per night, or we could do it for a week, or a month, or a season. And then like if they have a special event, like they have a tournament, you could do tournament rates. Because some of these places are getting thousands of dollars for these tournaments that come in for a weekend.
I talked about this for a long time, about doing soccer tournaments.
Yeah, I thought
What about naming
I thought we
rights?
were gonna get there with baseball tournaments especially. Did we ever do any follow-up work with the group that put in the batting cages and so on? They talked to us about bringing in other tournaments, baseball tournaments.
Yeah, they haven't even finished the batting cages.
They haven't what?
They haven't finished the batting cages that they
is
started
this
in.
Loveland Youth Football? I mean, Loveland Youth Baseball?
Okay.
Yeah.
What's the holdup?
I don't know if you just
That's
can't
what
get
we-
volunteers to
that's why we
finish it.
wanted-
I don't
Part
know.
of the reason I wanted the
But it's been sitting undone for like 2 years.
park guy, because that was gonna be his responsibility.
If we're gonna be pinging
And
on,
all of this stuff is a mess.
Well, that's why we needed a park person.
I was gonna say, if we're gonna ping on this committee for the bicentennial, one component is to help find entities to sponsor. I wonder if we're doing that effort anyways and reaching out to companies, if we should bring up naming rights
Or
for our
banner
fields.
signs
Oh.
on the baseball fields.
I mean, every field could be a different naming right. The soccer fields could put up signs, so instead of calling it Field A or
Are you-
Field number 4.
Are you talking an annual amount
Mhm.
that they have to pay that goes towards the maintenance and so on? Okay.
Yes, to help offset.
I was thinking anything but a one-time payment, because then we're stuck with all the future maintenance, and they got the name,
Right.
yeah, so
Yeah.
it'd have to be an annual contract for so many years or something. Okay.
And I don't know what the going rate for something like that would be. I'm not sure. But I figure as long as we're looking at sponsorship for bicentennial, we could, see if there's an appetite for this. But yeah, I'm fine with increasing the shelter cost
Do we have a biz development person?
and the,
That'd be
and the
working
field
on this
rental.
Stuff, they have a business index
Okay.
list
Yeah.
and all that.
I guess we just need to come up with a
Who to
reasonable
reach out for?
Kelly is supposed to be doing
field rental rate.
Who?
it. Kelly?
well, is that in this research?
No,
that Kelly did?
I just wasn't sure if you guys would be okay with that. I didn't spend a whole lot of time on it. I mean, we just looked at what other people are doing.
I think it's
So maybe
great.
we can just take it as a whole and maybe just start to map it out and see if we can come up with some kind of cost internally and then recommend it to you guys. If
Okay,
it,
so timing is we need to pass the resolution before the end of this year, is that right?
yeah,
Okay. So if we say, let's continue working on this, what are we gonna do? You've already done background research and so on.
you can,
It's just a matter of the things we talked about here, maybe apportioning based on sport, based on fields, so on and so forth. I mean, how you split it out. but if you're getting, well, go back 5, 6 years, we weren't getting anything. So 13,000 of whatever is 13,000 that we weren't collecting 4 or 5 years ago, right?
Yes, but you're to the point now where you're either going to have to put on a levy or you're going to have to increase the fees to the point where,
Nobody plays, huh?
yeah, I mean,
No, that's not right. People are already paying taxes for these things, so.
well, it's not just our residents using the parks. I mean, there's a lot of non-residents, especially the shelters. We've noticed a real
Yeah, but there's
uptick.
maybe that's where you start increasing the non-resident fees.
And we
More
have,
so
we
than
have.
you do the resident.
There's $100 difference now. I thought about taking it to $150
I agree with that.
difference,
Yeah.
just
Because
because.
if people want it and come here, they're gonna pay it. I agree with that. Okay. So I guess I'm still wondering where we go from here.
Well, like I said, I can go back and look and put some more numbers together and see. Because they have resident rates and non-resident rates for different things. And they have,
So say right now it's $100 difference between resident
Right.
and non-resident.
right. Originally, I was gonna take it to 150, but I didn't know if that would be, you know, too much to ask, or, I don't know, I wasn't sure. So I just thought I'd ask you guys first,
For a non-resident,
yeah.
Yeah. I'd say increase it.
I say increase it.
I would too.
Okay.
I'd try it and
Okay,
see
Yeah.
what the results are.
all right.
See if we get a dip in usage. Are people calling to reserve and things are booked up?
Yes.
There's a lot of
But we've
demand.
seen a huge increase in the number of large parties. The one that sticks in my brain the most is during a lot of the different holidays on the calendar, that we have a large percentage of people that now want to rent the shelters, but it's not, they can't fit all of their party in one shelter. So it ends up being hundreds or thousands of people in one park at one time. And it overloads the park, and then other people can't come into the park to enjoy it because the large party's there.
Well, don't you say this is the most people you'd have?
Yes, we tell people that all the time, but then of course we go home at 4:30 and then they pack the shelter with as many people as they want. That's the problem. And then they bring those big kettles in and we've shooed them away, and of course when we left at 4:30, they just came right back with the kettle. So,
And you're having church services too.
yes, they are having church services in them, and then it's bothering the residents on the backside of the lemming shelter. So we've had to send the police many times to tell people that they can't play amplified music in the shelter.
Is that one of the rule changes you're gonna make, or is this?
No, it's already in the rules.
Oh, okay.
It's already in there. We just have to, we've explained to the police, like, this is rule number 17, that you can't have amplified music and they have to turn it off. They cannot play it.
Are you allowed to have church services in our parks?
We don't say that you can't. We just say you can't play amplified music. So,
Wonder if we should ask Jeff Forbes about that.
oh, okay.
Okay. All right, anything else on this one, Ken?
Yeah,
Nope.
anything they do.
Okay. Moving on, cemetery fee increases.
So basically, it would just be, I would be asking you guys if we could raise the fee 5% for cemeteries across the board. And then we also need to create a new category for interment of ashes on Saturday, We didn't have that before, and we just seem to have an uptick in that, where now everybody wants to come on a Saturday, and before we didn't have a fee in there for a Saturday fee. So we had to come up with one to pay for the overtime that we've been incurring for that.
Is 5% enough?
I was gonna say, does that close the gap?
Yeah, it just, when it comes to the cemetery, it's, you know, it's a crapshoot, because like right now we have $55,000 in that account. We budgeted that we were gonna bring in, I think it's 47,250, and we brought in 48,000 to date. But of course, our expenses, when we appropriate, our expenses are 89,000. So we're almost double what we bring in, and it's because of mowing and fertilizing. So,
Raise those babies.
yeah, mowing is a huge cost to the cemetery. So we almost have to always raise the fee to try to bring in more money, so that we're at least trying to break even and not, you know, not have to use, because right now we're getting to the point where we're having to use road department money to pay for the cemeteries, because we don't have enough money in the cemetery fund to pay for it.
So why don't we raise it enough to break even? Why are we keeping it so low that we're paying half?
Well, apparently our cemetery fees are more on the high side, more than everybody else's.
Really?
I mean, I'm happy to raise it 10%. I started at 10%, and Bill told me it was too high, because everybody else's was lower than us. But
Like, who's lower than
What-
us?
I guess Hamilton Township's lower.
Well, their properties are lower.
Yeah, true. True. I mean, I'll raise it 10%. I'm happy to do
Do
that.
they talk about what
Yeah.
Gate of Heaven charges?
I don't know what Gated Heaven charges.
That'd be
I'm
good.
sure it's a lot more than us.
Yeah.
That'd be good to find
Yeah.
out.
I would base it off of Gate of Heaven. I know it's not
Well,
publicly owned, but
the
Yeah.
the concept, when you buy a grave in a cemetery, you're buying perpetual care.
Right.
So we have to eat that. So grave space is one thing, but then all your fees and your labor and everything else, other than mowing, is really built on the labor that you're putting in for opening, closing, all these other side features that you have to pay for. So there's two different things. One is covering your labor costs, and the other one is covering your perpetual care. So could one side go up more than the other?
Yeah, I guess we could do that. I mean, we only charge $770 for a grave. Maybe we just increase that exponentially.
the 1,000?
Yeah, I would. But there again, you're not gonna make a whole bunch of money because we only have a limited grave space to sell.
True.
We don't have much left in Union Cemetery, it's mostly curb now, isn't it?
We have a lot more in Union Cemetery than you think.
Empty space? Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right. But we're not gonna need any of that space, are we, for building? Okay.
Should we check with Gate of Heaven?
Sure, I can see.
I bet they're charging a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. People are dying to get in.
Okay. Anything else on this? Nope. Zoning fees.
And then zoning fees, all I was gonna ask for is an increase in 5%, which is our normal.
Are we behind the eight ball on that one too?
No, we're pretty okay. We definitely bring in more fees now to offset the costs of paying Hamilton County to administer our zoning.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Personnel manual changes.
And then on this one, I would like to ask if you guys would be okay with us. We typically let our employees go early on Christmas and New Year's Eve. So I was wondering if you guys would be okay if we just go ahead and put that in the personnel manual for a half a day on Christmas Eve and a half a day on New Year's Eve.
They're doing it anyway, right?
Right, I just thought if we're doing it, we might as well just put it in the manual and make it legal.
Well, you have a Christmas lunch and you dismiss them after lunch, so that's not really half a day.
Well, yeah, it's around a half a day.
Are you
Yeah,
giving
it
them
should
time
be
off
half
for
a day.
lunch?
Yeah, I mean, what's that?
I think they should get a half a day.
Yeah, that's what
Just
I'm,
saying, that
yeah,
they
it's,
stick
I
around
just
for
wanna,
lunch, they're not getting half a day, they're only, you're only getting a couple hours.
He's saying it's not a half a day,
We're only
and I'm
getting-
saying it should be a half a day, and
Well, no, if they stick around for lunch, then they get off at after
you have
lunch.
we don't pay them for lunch anyway. I
But,
mean, now,
yeah,
during the day, we don't pay for lunch.
just do a brunch, so they do
Yeah,
get a
we
half
could,
day.
yeah, we could do that.
Is that the only change?
That's on holiday, and then, on paid vacation, I need to just explain how the vacation comes to, like, if you have prior government service, this is what prior government service means. Because I think we had some confusion with new people on when they came here with prior government service and people that didn't have prior government service. And like, when does their date start and end?
Okay.
So that's just an explanation. And then, under sick leave, if we could move the occurrences from 4 to 5, or we can even go to 6. And then, under uniform and shoes, I just added ID badges as the thing, because we finally made ID badges. So, it's just another thing that they need to turn back in if they leave employment here with us.
Okay. Okay.
Sit on that. Does anybody have any heartburn over anything, or, I mean, I can
No.
change it however.
what, I guess I'm back reading on the paid vacation thing again. An employee
So basically what it's saying is, so like when I came here, I had 20 plus years experience when I came here. So I asked you guys to give me vacation up front, you did. And then when I was here for 6 months, I got 1 extra week. And then when I was here for my first year, then I got all the remainder of my vacation, which is another 4 weeks. So that's how, so, but I already had, some coming in. So I just want to make sure that that's
So what do you have
clear.
now? How many weeks?
5?
Okay. All right. I don't remember that. What I remember is as part of the negotiation, you negotiated for so many vacation days.
Right.
I didn't really think about prior government experience. I thought that was a negotiation, because you're kind of an exempt employee relative to maybe somebody else who comes in with government service. So I thought you negotiated for.
So we're
upfront.
not specifically talking about you, we're talking about everybody.
Everybody,
Yeah,
so
we're talking-
anybody that would come
Yeah.
here with prior government experience. So Kelly came here with prior, and then she had 10 years. So what she got is she did ask for some up front, and then she got her 1 week at 6 months, and then she got the remainder 3 weeks, at her 1 year mark. So then Colton did the same thing, and then, I think we had Keith who had just under a year, so it was kind of difficult with his, because he didn't quite have a year, and we weren't really sure where to put his anniversary date. Obviously, his anniversary date is his date with us, but we really weren't sure where to put his mark where he gets his first week of vacation. Should it have been the year service that he came from ODOT, or should it have been the 6 months?
Okay,
So this is why I'm just trying to clarify, that it's
Okay.
gonna be the 6 month mark.
I get, the schedule doesn't change at all.
Right.
It's after 6 months, a year, 2, 5, 10, 15.
Right, and
It's
that's,
just where do you enter that table?
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, and what you're saying is, now you want to give credit for prior government service?
We did give credit for prior government service, we just didn't say when you get the credit.
Oh, okay.
So this is just explaining, you get 1 week at six months, and then you get all the remainder of it when you get here after a year, like
Okay.
your year
All right.
anniversary.
Okay,
So
it's
we're
like,
just,
like a trial period for me, you know.
right, it's what the manual already says, but it never really specified if you came here with government experience.
Thank you.
How
for-
that looks.
Thank you for your clarification.
So I'm just trying to make sure everybody's on the same page.
Well, I was a page behind. Okay?
Makes sense. All right, next. Blong Park parcels.
So I would like us to petition the county to receive a parcel on Blong, which is this,
Okay.
this 0422 piece right here, this little skinny piece. So we own this big piece here, we own this piece here, Duke is right here, the county owns this little sliver right here. So what I would like to do is have them give that petition to them to give us this parcel, so that we can combine 0744 and then our 0210 parcel, and then that can be combined all into one piece, and then we can file a DTE form for the whole piece of property and be tax exempt.
How did, the county owned all of it because of Belong itself in the right of way?
Yes.
Okay. Now, the 042, what did you want them to give us?
0422,
Okay.
which is that little skinny piece behind those three houses on,
Oh, okay, I was looking at it backwards. All right, got it.
I forget the name, is it Vicksburg or, no, it's not Vicksburg.
But we got the side, we already own the side backing up to these houses?
We own the 620-010, the 11468 Long, and then we own parcel 0744. So those two shaded parcels, big shaded parcels we own, but I want the connecting piece, which is that 0422,
Yeah.
that backs up to those three houses.
Yeah, so I guess what this is showing me is that when we bought those 3-foot sections of property from all these abutters to Belong Road, okay, we actually had continuity going down.
Not at where 0422 is.
Okay, see, once again, I'm reading this backwards. I see it's shaded, so what you're really saying is,
I would like to acquire
Okay.
for the
I
township.
understand what you're trying to do, and I think that's the right way to go about it.
Yeah,
It's just
'cause
my
otherwise-
interpretation of your map is all.
Because otherwise, we're gonna continue to pay $3,000 taxes on this piece of parcel, and we don't ever do anything with it, so what's the point? And it's a gully, we had to
And
replace the bridge, so it just doesn't make any sense, and the county's gonna increase the taxes on it with all this triannual update that we're getting. So there's no point in, paying for this tax increase if we don't have to.
Right, I agree.
And we maintain it all anyway. So, what's the point?
Yeah, we do maintain it.
Yeah. And the county is okay with us giving it to us, but we just have to petition.
Oh,
I have to
okay.
have you guys pass a resolution to petition them, and then they'll kick it to the county engineer's office, and the county engineer's office will come back with a recommendation, which is gonna be in the positive, and then they can give it to us.
Good.
So I already had our law firm talk to their legal people, and
Yeah.
hopefully
And
it's
then
all
for
working.
everybody except the people who sign off on it, no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So in order to avoid the tax, do we have to do a consolidation?
yes, so we
We'll do
will
that
have
later.
to, once we get the parcel, then we'll have to reconnect and do a reboundary survey, and then, or a new boundary survey, and then we will get a new parcel number, and then we will have to file for a DTE, a new DTE form.
Okay.
Just takes time.
That's it for new business. Anything else?
That's it?
No executive session. I move to adjourn.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Beck?
Aye.
Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Mrs. Lees?
Aye.
6 o'clock. We got some.